We're here at Big Sound 2017. We're chatting with Mummakin Spencer, Danielle and Tommy. Guys, first of all, welcome to the podcast, but welcome to Brisbane.
I know.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome to you.
Normally you say that.
I said welcome.
Yeah. I was like, welcome to us.
I mean, we've been here for about 10 minutes too, so thank you. I appreciate the welcome.
It's a mutual welcome all around.
Does everyone feel welcome?
I feel particularly welcome.
Dare I
say?
Welcome. Danielle, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Welcoming atmosphere.
It's a beautiful moment.
Well, guys, it's great to have you. Obviously, Big Sound. You guys are playing tomorrow night and Thursday night. How are we feeling?
How you feeling, buddy? Well, he just shaved his beard off, so I think he's probably feeling a bit like
I feel naked.
It's lush stubble.
I just went to a barber up here and got the...
He just had a
what do you
massive
call that?
beard.
What do you ask for?
Not massive.
Could you twirl it with one thing?
Yeah,
No.
good question. What do you ask for when
What's
you get the 3-day growth
give
vibe?
me the
this is a number-
rugged but handsome look,
This is number
please.
2.
Just a number 2, straight
Number
up.
2.
Oh, okay.
That's less exciting.
I thought you would be like, just make me look like I don't care.
This is called the Eduardo.
So, I mean, what are the plans while you guys are here? Obviously, you are playing twice.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
It's just work.
Yeah.
Work. It's that we're rehearsing. We're rehearsing with a choir today. We're doing one of our performances with a 16-piece choir.
Right?
Yeah.
Who've been
How is that?
It's going to be amazing. It's actually a Brisbane choir who've been working on the pieces for the last 6 weeks. We set them the charts. So today we get in the studio with them and we
Combine forces.
Flesh out what we're doing. And then tomorrow we perform with them, and then Thursday night we do the Double J showcase at the Black Bear Lodge, just as a duo, unless we can convince some of the choir members to squeeze on stage with us.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're working on that.
it's these conferences are like they're a window of opportunity, and you've just got to get roll your sleeves up and just get busy. I reckon.
Because, I mean, you both have done a fair bit in your own personal careers, but this is quite a relatively new project. How did this come about?
Just old mates and
orbiting each other creatively for many years.
working on each other's different housemates, old mates. I played in a brother's band for years on a saxophone, and then
We've co-written together for years.
songs
and
together.
Tommy came in and did some production stuff on my last album, The Magician's Daughter. So, it's just been this, we've always been each other's touchstone in a lot of ways, kind of, what do you think of this song? I'm doing this thing, always kind of being that person in each other's corner. And then I suppose, again, a window opened up and we both climbed through it. It was like, let's just do something together.
Yeah, it's rare.
I want to do something with I want to do a fun project with you. Yes, let's do that. And it's just been... Everything just really moved, really beautifully.
And we didn't. I mean, the great thing about it is we didn't have to plan this opportunity a long way ago. It was sort of just this happened that we're both in a spot where it's like haven't done put out a release for a while, and I want to do something again, and I want to try something a little bit different, and we're both in that same boat. And I was like, well,
the synergy
it's not
was
rocket
just
surgery. Let's just do it.
Yeah, it's not even rocket surgery. Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's not.
It's far from it.
When you guys first sit down, though, I mean, obviously you've got this great relationship for years and years and years. Like, how does that initial writing conversation start?
Great question.
Thank you.
Because we did it a little bit differently this time because I live in Margaret River and Tommy lives in Melbourne. So, and we had written together before, but we'd always written in the same space together. And we didn't want to sort of go, look, we were realistic about the fact that we weren't going to be getting together that often and for what it takes to write a body of work to make an album out of. So there's a woman in Brisbane called Francesca Di Valance, and she runs this thing called I Heart Songwriting Club. And it's an online forum where you get 10 artists for 10 weeks, and she gives you a word prompt every week, and you have to write a song in an hour and put it up, and the other 9 people... tell you what you think. Comment on it.
What if it's terrible?
Well, it is.
That is the whole. That is the whole point of it. It's actually to get
Get all your bad ideas out.
It's get your bad ideas out, but it's also get less precious.
Yeah.
And it's also actually just get your muscle working of just fucking writing songs. Can I swear?
Yeah,
Sure.
Shit.
Fucking writing songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta write songs to write good songs.
Yeah.
You just gotta write songs. And so we were both in the same club by design. And so by the end of this 10 weeks, we get together and we've got 20 songs to pick from. And
20
I'm
brand new, like
20
songs
brand new
that are
fresh
just-
songs.
Yeah.
that are taking
they're
an
right.
hour. So you have no, you know, there's no huge
attachment
wrestle.
to them. So
Yeah.
we pulled some out because it was
That's
like
fun.
it's very obvious like which ones we really liked of each other's.
Yeah.
And so we literally just pulled those back out of the vault and reworked them. Some of them,
Yeah.
some of them stayed very true to their original form.
Yeah.
And some of them we really reworked. But the bulk of the songs on the album came from songs where the concept was written in an hour.
Yeah.
And then have to be put up for scrutiny to your
Yeah.
peers. That was the hard thing. It's like,
Yeah.
this is nowhere near ready.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know, and have a listen,
Put it out.
everybody.
And
This
like
is
it.
shit.
submitting anything that was recorded on anything other than a phone was kind of frowned upon. Like
Yeah.
it was meant
Yeah.
to be a voice memo recording.
Yeah.
Literally, sit down with an instrument. Like, don't go into GarageBand or Pro Tools or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
and edit yourself. Just like try and perform what you write in an hour.
Yeah.
and try and
It's
get
really
out.
cool.
It's great.
And
it sorts
I-
everything
the,
out.
The thing that I really learnt from it is that usually in my songwriting process, I really kind of throw away the stuff that I do in the beginning. I kind of go, oh, that's just the shit stuff. That's just the shit stuff, and it'll get better. But because we had this economy of time or the pressure of time, I had a real process. I'd like do 7 minutes of writing, and then I'd get on the keys or on the uke or on GarageBand, just like to do stuff with beats and sort of just start fleshing out ideas. And I would record everything I did in the next 15 minutes. And it was amazing how much of the stuff that happened in the first 15 minutes of the nexus of the idea being explored made it through all
the
the
end.
different processes of being in the
Yeah.
final takes of what you hear now.
Yeah.
Because that is actually where you're first dealing with the initial inspiration, and often I would throw that away.
Yeah.
So many times I would forget those first things when I've written songs in the past, and it's amazing to have that to go back through and be like, actually, that's a killer line. That's great. I love what I did there on that chord. That's a good rhythmic change there, and then you just smish that all together. It's like, shit, there it is.
But
There it
also,
always
like,
was, you know.
As collaborators, it was great to have someone else hold you to that, because if you're by yourself doing that,
Yeah.
it's very easily, to do that thing where you throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you got someone else holding you to it, it's like, no, why'd you get rid of that
I
thing?
love that
was the
bit.
best
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
That was my favourite bit.
Yeah.
And it'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay, and because you'd only spent an hour.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't like you'd, written Bohemian Rhapsody and you had to have every single, bit perfect. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's just do that. So
We also had the benefit
songs
of...
are robust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're robust and they've been worked and you weren't attached, but we also had the benefit of having each other's feedback on each of the songs on the platform
Yeah.
of, so the amount of data that we had available to us just by doing 1 hour a week and then giving 1 hour of feedback a week.
Yeah.
So 2 hours a week of work, the
Yeah.
amount of data that we had out of that as far as our ability to then pull that together and turn it
Yeah.
into an album was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
tool. I'd
Was
love
there
to
a
do it
certain
again,
point
for
where you
sure.
guys actually had to physically get in the same room together? Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
long down the process does that happen?
Yes.
Well, it was about 3 months. Well,
Sure.
because it's 10 weeks. And
Yeah.
then there was a little bit of time in between. And then it was like, I'm coming. So I flew over to Margaret River.
Yeah.
And Dan's got a beautiful spot where she's got a whole bunch of gear set up with a beautiful view of a river. And we were like, let's go. We got 3 days like set aside in our schedule. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Wow.
all right, well, where do we begin? And it was
Yeah.
literally like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
speed's been a big feature of
It
this
has.
process.
Speed, yeah.
And I reckon the other word,
Even the recording of it.
apart from speed, it's economy. It's
Yeah.
this real thing of like having a real sense of how much time we have, being
Yeah.
so grateful for having carved it out, and
Yeah.
also just using wringing every morsel out of everything
What we do
had.
have.
So
Yeah.
that has meant that the project has had an expediency to it and a momentum to it that it feels so so alive because of that. It's like we kind of keep responding to it because we keep it's like, cool, now we need to do da 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 da, and we put the feelers out straight away and it's happening. Like
Yeah.
things are happening very quickly because
when you approach the world with that confidence and that kind of
Yeah.
momentum, it comes back at you with the same thing, so you got to be
Yeah.
kind of also wary of it, because it's like, holy shit, like
Yeah.
all these things are coming out of the woodwork now
Yeah.
for us to jump on. It's like, we have to
Yeah.
open up the calendar now and really sort of start working out
Yeah.
what's going to be best for everyone.
And despite this speed or this expediency, you're not being not ambitious.
Yeah.
16-piece choir.
Yeah.
so
is,
that's the other element of this project.
Yeah,
is
the
that
size of it seems big.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
The other element of this project is we recorded the songs with the plan, with the vision of having lots of voices in the recording. So the two of
Yeah.
us as the core sort of duo. So I'm on drums, Tommy's on guitar, we're both singing. But the thing we wanted to use to flesh it out was voices,
Yeah.
a choir, or like
we made it
basically
very-
a choral section.
Sorry, I'll just interrupt you. We
Go
made a
for it.
very conscious decision before all of this that it was going to be a project that would involve choirs. So that was baked into even the writing process a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we'd sort of go, oh wow, this song can be quite empty because eventually it's going to have a massive amount of people singing it. So we don't have to constantly be singing ourselves.
We weren't also writing gospel pieces. Like we were writing, the songs are kind of rock, and they have like these really raw elements to them, and they're not typical kind of choir type songs or arrangements. And that's what's been really exciting about working with the choirs is these choirs who usually sing together on sort of a very particular type of dynamic are getting to sing on really contemporary pieces with parts written specifically to that song and have been represented in the recording. So then the whole vision for this is that we tour it and we actually go to choirs that exist. And so,
In the places that we're touring.
In the places that we're touring. So, like, when we're playing in Brisbane, we're playing and singing with voices from Brisbane. When we played in Bellingen, we play. So the whole thing is that we are going to be singing these parts, so these songs with new people all the time.
And every city's going to have a different feel.
Right. That's exactly it. So you start
like a
feeling the
wine.
stamp of the place, right?
It's like this area is great for Pinots and this area is great for
It's like
Sopranos.
You
They're the
automatically
good
become
bases
like
in
a
this area.
local act every single time you get to a new
kind of like
city.
that, and that's the exciting thing for us is actually going, we're going to rehear the interpretation of these parts. Sure, the charts are the same everywhere we go, but voices are voices, like like everyone's voices is like a fingerprint. So then the sound of that place is going to be different every single time. That just feels like the experience of that, because I suppose for us, to take a step back, one of the main driving factors of this project was we were just really feeling the need to do our music in a way that really connected us in with people, because touring can be a very lonely experience. You kind of you roll into a place, you find where the coffee is, you find where the good food is, and then you perform a show, you sleep in a really sterile room, and you wake up and you leave and you do the same thing the next day, and it's
less
amazing.
Sterile after you leave.
It's way less sterile after you leave, and then you kind of do it again and again. So it's our whole thing is, if we're going to go on tour and leave our families and do all the things, all the machinations that it takes to do that thing and make that level of investment, it has to have a deeper feeling for us. And so that's where the choir answer came in.
That was baked way back in the conversation. It was like, I need to do something that feels really good. Like, we need to connect with people and their voices, where they live. We need to meet, we need to interact with people.
I want to meet the community. Like, I want to meet the communities I go to. I don't care if it's Melbourne or if it's Sydney or it's Brisbane or if it's, Bangalore. Like, it's like I want to go out to these more rural places as well, and I want to meet the people who want to sing. Like, people want to sing.
What was amazing is this was all a theory up until about, was it 2 months ago?
2 months ago we had our first
This is all
show.
just on paper. Like, okay, we're going to do a choir thing, all this stuff, and then finally we got to experience. We've been very fortunate as well, because we've sort of got a third collaborator, a girl called Virginia Bott, who has created all these incredible choir arrangements, because it's quite a complicated, it's sort of like, imagine it's an orchestra.
So string section,
string section, so Virginia's incredible at arranging the parts and writing the parts and writing out the charts, and she liaises with the choirs and makes sure they're up to the point where it's like we're all ready to perform. So all this was this huge kind of idea, and then a couple of months ago we played at the Bello Festival in Bellingen, and we had that moment of walking into a room and there was a choir of locals who'd spent
been
the last
working on our stuff
2 months,
working
their asses off to learn all the parts, and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, and it just
unbelievable.
It was
like I'm actually just getting chills thinking about it.
I was crying. I couldn't sing because it was so overwhelming to hear that sound, those people, and they were looking at us with the same reverence, because we were just suddenly real. We'd been these people they'd been listening to and learning, and so we had this very strong bonding moment, which was like, I was so grateful, because this was part of that idea where we connect with people. And, science has shown that when you sing with people, you actually release huge amounts of oxytocin, which is a hormone that mothers give off in childbirth, and you know, when I think you've taken a lot of MDMA, it comes on as well. It's that thing where you want to grab people and
Two
hug
different
them.
things, but
Yeah.
same effect.
Well, yeah.
Same vibe.
Oh yeah, mothers giving birth on MDMA is a whole
Oh,
other
that's a whole
situation.
other-
Okay?
That's our next album. That's our next project.
But yeah, it's one of the properties of it is that it creates bonding. So you feel very bonded with people that you've shared that experience
Yeah.
with. So the next day after our first rehearsal, we were wandering down this beautiful little town and bumping into these people, and we're just like. It was like the Hippie Fest 2000. We're just hugging each other and crying.
It was
And
actually
Just a
really,
lot
it
of
was
love.
really, it was a
it
lot
was a
of love.
loving.
Yeah.
It was like this
And
is
through the
yeah.
vehicle of these songs that we'd written, you know, this is the
Yeah.
amazing thing, I reckon. Like
Yeah.
these songs that you write in private, whether they're under the pressure of an hour or they're in the quiet of your bedroom or in your lounge room, they become these vehicles for something, and then you can get to choose what they are the vehicle for. And we've been very specific about what we want these songs to be the vehicle for, and because we've been so specific, I don't know, or I think it's a range of factors, but in being so specific and then watching it actualize has just been this incredible thing of like, it's exactly what we said it
Yeah.
was going to be. Whoa!
Yeah, like going back to
mind
before, it was like be careful when you move with speed and purpose and confidence
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
project. Like be careful because that's what comes flying back at you. It's like,
It'll accidentally happen on purpose,
Yeah.
and then you got to do the thing.
that's right. Now we're doing the thing, and it's like, wow, here we are. We're doing the thing. So yeah,
Yeah, so that's the project.
Massive congrats, guys! It
Thank
sounds
you.
like a very, very exciting project.
Thank
It you. is,
and
it really
a
is.
huge sort of reward for the audiences to actually check out something this big.
That was,
yeah.
it was.
Well, I mean, it's an amazing sound. Like I know this festival's called Big Sound, but it actually is a big sound.
big sound.
Because it's quite rare that you hear a big group of people singing,
Yeah.
and it's not based in religion.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
another thing which is really interesting. It's like this is completely non-religious. So when you get that sound, it's kind of like awe-inspiring.
and the
you
reason
know?
it is used in religion is because it's
blows you
very
away.
effective. It
Yeah.
moves you. You know, like hearing voices harmonize rhythmically to a song. It's like you feel the power. You know,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
really
whoa,
do.
you feel it.
It changes.
It changes
the way you.
changes your thing.
Yeah.
Great thing in Bello, when we did the show with the choir, I said to the audience, you know, I was like, you know, stand up if you know someone in the choir. And 3/4 of the room stood up. You
Which
know,
was, it was about 1,000 people.
It was 1,000 people like
Just
watching
went-
our show. Just like literally stood up and they were like, it was just like going, you own us.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
own this. You
Yeah.
own this gig. Like this is
Yeah.
actually your gig.
Yeah.
You know, and that it was seeing that. Yeah, I mean, I could just go on about it.
Yeah,
It's just like
we better-
that real feeling of
How many
kind of-
copies have you had?
None, and
Really?
I'm
Okay.
so glad I haven't.
Just swept up in the excitement.
I truly am.
Yeah.
We have to go though. We've got to go
Yeah,
to
we
another
do.
Yeah, well,
conference.
guys, thank you so much for coming on
Thanks
the show.
for having us.
Best of luck for the gigs.
Thanks
It
so
sounds
much.
very, very
Hope to see
exciting.
you there.
We're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Thanks for your support. We appreciate it so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you,
Really
guys.
lovely.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. All right.
Thanks. See you.
And we're out.
We're out.